Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 7. So this is, we see Bella has left, and um, not a lot happened with a lot of the people in the villa this episode. The most, everything really surrounded the Ace and Amaya of it all. So we'll get into that. So I've watched this a couple of times because I was just like, I was really at a loss for words because because it was like, I don't know what happened because I was so confused. Because it was like, again, I'm disappointed in Ace for not choosing Shelley because clearly that is who he wants. And it's been like from jump, that's what we've seen he wants. He's liked her since he met her outside of the villa. So it's just like, you had your chance to get with her and you didn't. And it was just like, why didn't you? So that's another thing. We get to him coupling up with Amaya, and once they've done the recoupling, Bella has left. Everyone is like, each couple is gone to be with their own couple. We see Amaya and Ace. So he takes her back to the fire pit and he's talking to her. So this is how I interpreted the conversation. He let her know, I picked you and I do want to explore and get to know you, but I do want to let you know that I am still exploring other options. And I want you to know that you can also explore other options. I also want to let you know that I'm not lovey-dovey. I don't like to cuddle. I'm not a kissy type person. I'm not kissing people outside of challenges. So tonight, when we're going to bed, don't expect me to cuddle with you. That is what I interpreted from what he was saying. Now, him telling her about the whole, I want to explore with other people. I want to explore with you. I want you to explore with other people. I don't think he should have told her any of that right after you picked her. Because it's like, why? Him talking about his boundaries, what he is going to accept. Sorry, I had to make sure my mic was on. But him talking about his boundaries, what he wants her to know, like, don't expect this tonight because I'm not going to give this tonight. I feel like he should have told her that. How she took it as him being a player, I don't get it. Because the first sentence she says is, I'm not like that, so I understand. I'm not going to be that kissy type, cuddling type, all of that extra stuff. I'm not going to do that with you because that's not the type of person that I am. Cool. So y'all got that understanding. Then she switched it up and says, I feel like you giving me that player type vibe. And I was like, a player type vibe is if he didn't tell you that he was still exploring other people and he's keeping you on the hook. So that's why I didn't get the whole, oh, you're a player type vibe. And I understand her being mad about him bursting her bubble because you picked her and then now you telling her like you still exploring with other people and you want her to explore with other people. It's like, again, you shouldn't have told her that right after you recouple with her. You setting your boundaries, completely understand that. So she gets mad. She starts to cry. He lets her know, I understand your feelings and I apologize if I hurt your feelings. So she leaves. She goes to talk to Huda. She crying on the shoulder of Huda, the girl who was just calling her everything but the name of God, but whatever. And Ace is talking to the boys and he's telling them like, I'm not that lovey-dovey type person right off the bat. I don't want to give her the impression that we closed off when we not. I don't really know her like that. So no, I'm not going to cuddle with her tonight. I don't see anything wrong with that. I honestly don't. Again, him telling her that I want to still explore other people, you didn't have to have that conversation with her that night. You could have had that conversation with her the next morning. you telling her your boundaries for what to expect when y'all go to sleep that night, yes, that is a conversation that you should have, because you never know. She may have wanted to cuddle you that night or wrap her arms around him that night. So him saying, don't expect me to do that to you, and I low-key don't want you to do that to me. Yes, she needed to know all of that. She didn't hear that. All she heard, honestly, was in that conversation, I feel like all she heard was, I'm going to explore other people and you need to explore other people. And it was just like, he said, I want to explore you and get to know you. And I'm also going to explore and get to know other people too. So it's not like he shut the door on you, but you took it as he shut the door on you, which is like, okay, you didn't hear that, right? He shouldn't have had that conversation with you that night, but you still didn't hear what he said. Cool. We come to the night, y'all get in bed. He asks you, what do you want for breakfast? You tell him coffee, and he was just like, okay, cool. Y'all go to bed, X, Y, and Z, whatever. We get to the next day. Huda and Jeremiah, they go on their date. I fast forwarded through it the first time I watched it. The second time I watched it, I did watch it. Their talks, she's not paying attention because that man don't want her, and she's not seeing that. Um every time she says something, he makes a face and she's not paying attention to it. So she's about to get hurt in a real bad way. Like for real, because she's not paying attention. And then when she came back and delivered and talked to the girls about what they talked about, that man didn't say anything about moving in with you. He said, y'all will see how long distance goes. Then he said, if I move to where you are, or you move to where I am, but I think he said he'll move to where you are. He wants to get a separate place and see how that works. And then maybe, if he said all of that, maybe if all of that. And what you gathered from that was he wants to move in with me. Huda, you're not listening. You're not paying attention. You're not being smart. That's what happened with them. Child. Huda and Jeremiah, oh my God. Like, I don't know what's going on with them, but they are not, that is not it. So again, we get up in the morning. Ace makes Amaya breakfast. He brings her breakfast. He lets her know, I'm still trying to figure out how to work this coffee machine, but it's coming. Olandria, she makes breakfast for Taylor, and Taylor is talking to Ace, and he's just like, we have a connection, but that physical attraction just ain't there. And Ace got sense. It's like Ace got sense, but at the same time, it's just like, why do you do the things you do, bruh? Like, ugh. Like, I still see it for him, but then again, I'd be like, oh, why are you doing this? Like, you're doing the most. But he has sense, so he's telling Taylor, like, you need to get that in gear, because that lady is not gonna wait for you. She's over there making you breakfast right now, and you don't see no physical attraction to her. I'm gonna need you to figure out what you're gonna do, because the next bombshell that comes in may be for her, and you're gonna be stuck like Chuck. He ain't say all that, but that's what he really said. So um what's it called? Alandria, she made Taylor breakfast. She's basically telling him, like, yes, I'm a slow burn, but if you are looking for that opening, this is that opening. Basically, is what she said. And she says that in her confessional also. So it's just like, the ball is in your court, Taylor, and you still slow moving, slow rolling, but whatever. So Austin and Chelley, they talk or whatever. He like says he's feeling her. He's like, he likes her. Chelley says she likes him too, and it's just like, girl, I can't wait till you get out this villa and you see who he really is, because that man is not seeing it. Anyways, so Amaya and Ace, they have a second conversation. So in this second conversation, this is where like, again, I see both sides in the situation, because we're gonna get to it. So Ace checks on her, basically like, how you feeling from after our conversation last night, and like, checking on her, how she's feeling from the conversation, what's what. And so she's telling him, like, I apologize for how I came off last night. I was just like, you know sorry, it was a little too much for me, or something like that. So he asked her, what did you call your significant others when you were like, when you're dating or whatever? And she was just like, I would make up little nicknames, or I'd call him babe. And he was just like, yeah, that's a lot for me. And she was just like, wait, what? And he was just like, yeah, you keep calling me babe, and that's like a lot for me. And I was just like, what? Okay, Ace. But I understand. He said he's slow pace, he's slow burner. You calling me bae makes it feel like we locked in, locked down. I understand. Here's where, again, I get both sides. With her, I understand, because me, I used to call everybody my love. I used to be like, hey love, how you doing, love, how you doing, love? And then it was like someone had to point it out to me, like, not everybody is your love. So it was just like, oh, I have to scale back on only calling my significant other my love, like, or hey love. Like, I had to take that back, like, take that out of my vocabulary for everyone, because I would literally say that to all my friends, male or female. Like, I would call them love, and it's like, nah, chill out with that. So I understand her as a person who's always saying it. What I didn't like was when she was trying to, and I don't, she was trying to explain like that's part of her vocabulary to him. And I don't know if he wasn't understanding that she wasn't doing it maliciously, or if he took it as, I feel like he took it as if she was doing it maliciously. But at the same time, she kept calling him babe, babe, or babe, babe, or babe, or whatever she was calling him. She kept doing it in the conversation, and he was getting irritated. And she was trying to explain, like, that's part of my vocabulary. And she said something to the effect of, you're not understanding me. And he was just like, well, make me understand. And she got pissed. And it was just like, it was in that moment that you should have explained, this is what I call everybody. Like, I literally say this to everybody, girls, boys, mom, dads, whatever. That is, babe is part of my vocabulary. It's going to be hard for me to stop calling you babe like that. But just know that I'm going to try, and I'm not doing it because I think you're my babe. Like, I literally called Hannah babe like, just a few minutes ago. Like, that was her point to, like, let him know. But she didn't, and she got pissed. And it was just like, girl, like, and like I said in my last video, like, she talks and she listens to respond. She doesn't listen to understand. She never lets anyone she doesn't let anyone get a word in edgewise. Like, even when she was talking to Austin and trying to get to know him, she would ask him a question and then answer the question that she was asking him without letting him answer the question. And it's just like, she likes to hear herself talk. And it was really annoying, because it was just like, he's clearly communicating to you how he feels about something, and you're not listening to what he's saying. You're getting upset and going off of everything but what he's actually saying. Like, with the conversation that initially started all of this, you didn't listen to the part of the bound, like, him saying that I want to explore you as well as other connections. All you heard was, I'm exploring other connections. And it's just like, you're going around telling all the girls like, oh, he's, he's a player and he's this and he's that and he's this and he's that. And it's like, when you're talking to him, you're calling him a player, you're talking over him, you're not letting him talk. And then every time you start to talk, he stops talking and he lets you finish what you're saying. And then when he comes in to say what he wants to say, you cut him off and continue to talk. And then he again stops talking. And it's like, those are red flags. Like, at this point, I understand why he don't want to have any more communications with you, because it's like, why am I even talking to somebody who's not letting me talk? Like, you're doing the absolute most in this moment. So she gets pissed and she walks off or whatever. And he was just like, did this really just happen? Like, am I tripping or am I tripping? And it was just like, nah, you're not tripping. In that conversation, again, I understand both sides. Ace, you were tripping on the whole babe thing. I don't think she's doing that maliciously. Again, that's part of her vocabulary. I don't think she's calling you babe like you're my baby. Like, I don't think that's what she's doing. It's just a word that's in your vocabulary. So you telling her that's a lot for you, it's like, calm it down. Like, it ain't that serious, bruh. Her saying, babe, can you pass me that? I don't, or like, okay, babe, like, I don't think it's that serious. I don't think she thinks y'all are married. Like, but I digress. So he was, they had that falling out. So we see Huda and Jeremiah coming back, and um again, they each go to their different their different groups, and they tell what happens. Huda put 20 on 20. She put 20 on 10 when she was talking about her date. Ace is sitting there like, I don't believe it. He told Olandria and Taylor, like, I don't believe it's true. She's more into him than he's into her, which is the truth. I feel him on that, but I feel like you need to stop talking about that, Ace. Like, you keep saying something about it. Jeremiah ain't leaving that girl until another bombshell comes in, and Huda ain't leaving that man until he recouples with somebody else. So let it be. Leave it be. Quit talking about it. I'm glad that you talking for the audience, but we done what you talking about talking for the audience for us. Like, we're done with it. We understand how you feel about it. We feel the same way. Let's move on. Quit bringing it up, because at this point it looks like you're a hater, and it looks like you want Huda and you mad that Jeremiah got her. So at this point, leave it be. If you're not trying to see it, if you don't see it for Huda, let them two make their own mistakes on their own. Your job is to come in here and find your person. You're not here to find everybody else's person for them. Figure out who you want. If it's either well, we know it's not Amaya. If it's Chelley, you need to let it be known, and you should have picked her, honestly, but you didn't, and we're here, so that's your fault. What else happened this episode? So, oh yeah, Sierra found out that Nick kissed Bella like 10 minutes before. So at this point in the video, my mic died. So I was just talking, and I didn't realize it died. I had paused the video because I wanted to look at something just to like verify what I was about to say. And that's when I realized that my mic died. So basically, at this point, I was talking about Nick and Sierra and how they talked about the whole him kissing Bella right before he kissed her and him not telling her about it. And she didn't stand on business like she said she was going to. Like, she said she was going to confront him and she was going to do X, Y, and Z. And it was just like, girl, you weren't going to do none of that. So they basically talked about it. They're good now. They kissed and made up. Then the next thing I started talking about was how Austin had clocked Ace's tea, and how he was basically saying that Ace wants Chelley to chase him, but Chelley is not a chaser. And it's like, yeah, I understand that. And it's just like, it's the truth. Like, Ace, you keep wanting Chelley to come and chase you, but again, she's not going to chase you. And then Austin was also talking about how he's mad that Ace keeps pulling Shelley for chats and for X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, you can't get mad at that because that is the point of the game. Like, Ace and Shelley have a connection. You can't get mad that they continue to gravitate towards each other or that he's pulling her to talk to her, because again, he's trying to explore all his connections, just like you went and explored your connection with Amaya and you kissed her and you still haven't told Shelley. Shelley lets you know all. She lets you know everything. She lets you know who she's talking to. She's let you know that she sees you as a friend and now she's seeing you as more, but she's at least communicating this with you. You aren't communicating with her, because I feel honestly, if Austin had chose first, he probably would have chosen Maya. But it is what it is. So I had paused the video because I wanted to check back and see, because we had that last conversation with Shelly, not Shelly, with Amaya and Ace. And in this conversation, this is a conversation where he does ask her, can you explain to me, like, when she kept calling him babe when they were talking about this, he was like, explain, like, I don't understand. You keep saying that babe is a part of your vocabulary, and I'm letting you know that I'm not comfortable with you calling me babe, but like, explain, like, I don't understand how you can't stop calling me babe because I asked you to, but you continue to do it. Like, explain it. And she got mad. And what I realized in this scene was, she keeps mentioning that every time they talk, he has brought up his boundaries just to clarify with her. And she keeps saying, we always have this talks and you're always talking about your boundaries. I get it. I get it. But I just don't like the fact that you telling me that you're going to explore other people in XYZ. And it's just like, that is what you're mad about, Amaya. And that is what you need to communicate clearly with him. Because at this point, you keep complaining and saying that you don't like the fact that he keeps telling you about his boundaries, but you're not mad about his boundaries. You're mad that he told you that he's still going to explore all of his connections that he has, and he's not settled in on you. And you apparently are settled in on him, which is like, I don't understand why, because you had one conversation with him and y'all didn't even kiss, but you had one conversation with Austin, but y'all kissed, and it seemed like you had more of a connection with Austin than you did with Ace. But I don't know. And it's like, I just don't know, because it's like this whole thing, like, I've watched this episode like multiple times because I was just like, I'm trying to see where the breakdown happened. Because again, like I said, I understand him telling her right after he coupled up with her that he was still going to explore his other connections. I really don't feel, I feel like he should not have had that conversation with her in that moment. Completely agree. He should not have had that conversation with her right after he recoupled up with her. Him explaining his boundaries to her and letting her know, look, I'm not a cuddler. I'm not kissing you outside of challenges until I get to know you. I don't think that was a bad thing, because y'all were about to go to bed. The way she was talking, before they had this conversation, she made it seem like she's very what's the word? Like, I can't even think of the word, but she's very hands-on. She's very touchy. She made it seem like that. I don't know if that's how she is, but it seemed like that. And then when he had that conversation with her about the boundaries, that's when she said, well, I'm not like that. And at that point, if you understand his boundaries and you aren't like that, you're not one to just cuddle with people, kiss people, do all of that stuff when you don't have a connection with someone, or you don't really know someone, then you won't keep bringing up the boundaries thing. And that's always the first thing you bring up, because you really don't want to say what your real issue is. Like, you keep playing around with it. And it's just like, just come out and say it. Bro, I didn't like the fact that you had this conversation with me after the recoupling. Okay, and it is what it is. She did talk to him about it, but at the same time, you keep it's I don't know, because it's just like I just don't know. But that was the episode. So I'll be back hopefully on, well, not hopefully, I will be back on camera with episode 9, no, episode 8, because this is episode 7. So if you like what you see, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.